This is like a particular story over about a 10-year period, about 40 years before the Russian Revolution. But who we are going to be talking about is a large group of Russian revolutionaries called the Narodniks. They believed so deeply that the socialist revolution was going to come from the people. What they were hoping is that the serfs aren't doing very well since being emancipated. It's all these students are like, what if we go to the people? It starts out really light and kind of frothy, and it just ends in murder. It just ends horrifically.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to 500 Open Tabs. I'm Kaveh Taherian. Filling in for my co-host this week is a very special guest. She is a film and television editor who's worked on projects like Black Panther and How to Be Single. Her latest editing credit, You're Dating a Narcissist, starring Marissa Tomei, is now available on VOD. Please welcome back to the podcast, the one, the only, the original Josie Azzam. Josie, welcome back.
Thank you. Josie with a Z. Not to be confused with Josie with an S. Josie.
Jojo. Josie, listen, you know what's really funny? I realized this as I was texting you to ask you to come onto the show, which was, you've been on this show 2 times. This is your 3rd time on the show now. Every other time that you've been on the show, I have not been on here. You're my friend, and yet I have not recorded with you on my own show yet until today.
That's what friends do. I'm just here to help. I'm not here to hang. I'm here to bring cookies. What do you need? Real friends. That's so many bags.
Yes. So many friends. Anyway, I'm so excited that you and I finally get to have one together. So thank you for doing that. Why don't you fill us in on what you've been up to since the last time you were on the show? Anything fun that you want to tell us? Any fun adventures? I know that you're not a tab hoarder the way that the rest of us are, but if somebody's listening to the show to the episode with you on it for the first time, what do they need to know about you?
Well, so it's funny. On the last 2 episodes, the first one I did was about the Year of the 5 Emperors. And then when I came back on with Hannah, I was like, okay, when you guys first asked me, I was like, I had 3 ideas. I had only 3 because I apologize. I'm pretty neurotypical.
I won't hold it against you.
I listened to a planning 2 different planning podcasts about how to be an even better planner because I'm such a good planner that
Not possible. You're like the queen.
I know, but there's so much more. There's always more.
You're such a good planner that I wrote a comic I remember when I was doing my Avocado Chronicles book, I did do a strip where you were the author of a fake book.
A fake budgeting book.
A fake budgeting book because you had lent me a budgeting book at one point. And I was like, I'm going to slip Josie into this in one of these strips.
Did it work? Did the budgeting book work?
I'm trying to remember what it was called. I don't remember.
Mine was the YNAB book. Shout out to YNAB. I think I've been using it for 15 years. I mean, seriously. But you made one that was called B is for budgeting. No, dial B for budget.
Oh, dial B for budget, right, because I had to make a film reference for it as well.
Yeah, but I think you're instead of reading this book, I'm going to just troll Josie instead.
I'm giving you a shout out in my comic. That's why.
Oh, I love it. No, I get shout outs all the time now. This is just, it's a good name for it. No, so this is the 3rd. This is it. I'm glad
this is the last tab.
This is the last fun thing I have. No, that's not true. I have probably lots of fun things to talk about, but I was like, this one will really tickle you in particular.
Yes.
And it's also from a Mike Duncan podcast, but not Roman history. It's revolutionary history.
I don't know Mike Duncan.
Oh man. So this is a fun fact about me, which is that in order to fall asleep, I have to listen to a Mike Duncan podcast, and I have listened to one of his podcasts every night since 2014.
Seriously? What is it about Mike Duncan?
He's really funny.
I was going to say, is he that boring?
No. He's really funny, but he's also really accurate. So anyway, he has this very famous podcast called History of Rome, and it goes all the way through the entirety of the history of Rome. It's about 300 episodes. Each episode.
You lost me at Rome. You know that. That's how I roll, basically.
I know. Sometimes you guys will be like, there's more to the world than Western history. And I'm like, yeah. I know, but also Western history. And then he did another podcast series called Revolutions where he goes through, and it's not just Western, he goes through the Haitian Revolution, the Haitian slave revolution, which is fucking crazy. It was so good. English Revolution, Russian Revolution, English Revolution, French Revolution, Mexican Revolution.
Does he get into the Egyptian Revolution?
No Suez Canal. Okay. No.
Is it 1909? I think it's either 1909 or 1919. I forget the date. But apparently, I was just reading about this. I was thinking about doing a tab on it. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but I will. But apparently, like the Egyptians and the Irish and the Indians were all in cahoots of being like, look, if we all revolt at the same time, the English have to be spread thin and they can't keep us all down. There was some sort of meeting or something. I didn't really do the dive into it yet, but I thought that sounded really cool.
Actually, that's kind of sort of a little adjacent to my tab, a little bit.
Really?
Like, not quite. I mean, it kind of goes into.
What are the odds?
It's going to, well, I think it's just like, kind of like your Brother Jonathan episode where it's like,
Mhm.
what are we all thinking about right now?
Yeah.
What's on the mind? What's on
I
the
don't know
top
why
of
that
the
came up.
noggin? What is that?
Yeah.
Why is American propaganda something I'm deeply interested in all of a sudden? No, mine is about how do you get the people to want to throw over a government?
Okay.
How do you get how do I talk to these kids?
Yeah. How do you motivate them?
How do you motivate them? And they're so unmotivatable. So that's what.
It's tough.
Well, I can get into it. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. Okay, let's go. Let's hit us with your tab.
All right. So this is, like I said, I first heard this story in Mike Duncan's Revolutions podcast about the Russian Revolution.
Okay.
And this is like a particular story over about a 10-year period. And why I like it and why I like it for you is that it feels very much like a Coen Brothers movie.
Yes.
In that it starts out really light and kind of frothy and kind of surface level. And it just ends in murder. It just ends horrifically. And you're just like, whoa.
Yes.
Like it's the Steve Buscemi where he's like going, whoa, daddy. Whoa, daddy.
Someone's got a suitcase with money in it that's being chased throughout it.
Yeah, and this just started as like a really simple kidnapping and it just escalates. So, all right. So where we're going to start is about 40 years before the Russian Revolution. So we're going to start, this story takes place in around the 1870s. And important context for this is that in 1861, Tsar Alexander II freed the serfs. Do you know what a serf is? You know what a serf is?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So a serf was a slave. I don't know why they get a special name.
Yeah.
But they were like land indentured slaves.
This is where surf and turf comes from. Is that correct?
Sick. Yeah. They were just like, God, no, it'd be really good with my shrimp is, servitude. So, stupid.
You haven't been around anybody this stupid in a long time.
I live in Nebraska now, man. Oh, that's mean. That's so mean. Everyone here's great. No. So this takes place about 40 years before the Russian Revolution. So like all of our main characters that you would know are not born yet. So it's like we're not talking about Stalin today.
Sure, right.
But who we are going to be talking about is a large group of Russian revolutionaries called the Narodniks.
Narodniks. Okay.
So narod in Russian means people. Like it just means people. And these are people who believed in the people. They were like, so the
I'm a
serfs,
people person, basically.
they're people. They believed so deeply that the socialist revolution was going to come from the people, right? That's the whole point of socialism.
Yeah.
And they were like, the serfs, after the 1861 emancipation, were actually not doing so red hot. You'd think by being freed, they would, have new opportunities. The reason that they essentially freed the serfs is that it was based on this Western outlook where they were like, every other country in the West has gotten rid of feudalism and we haven't.
Yeah.
We need to modernize. We can't be looking like this anymore. But same as happened in the American South.
I was going to say,
yeah, you can't just free people. Like you got 40 acres and a mulet. Like you got to give people something to build off of. And instead what they gave the serfs is the government paid landowners for their land, but then they owed the Russian government and they could pay it off slowly over 50 years, 49 years to be exact. So they were like now just indentured to the government.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a new form of feudalism.
It's a new form because they couldn't afford it. They just lost the Crimean War. Like there was a lot of other stuff happening. So I don't know a ton about Marxism. I learned actually most of it through this podcast. But a belief in Marxism is that you have to pass through capitalism to get to socialism. And it makes sense if you realize that Marx lived in London and basically saw Victorian London, or not Victorian London, I guess it would just be workhouses and stuff where it's things have to get so bad in capitalism in order to revolt. And so
I've heard something similar where people talk about accelerationism, where they're like, no, we want to vote for Donald Trump just because he's going to destroy everything, and then that's what's going to get us to the place that we'd like to be.
I think they're similar in that. What they were hoping is that the serfs aren't doing very well since being emancipated. They still have a lot of their kind of same practices as they had 1,000 years ago. They're still plowing. They're still having a lot of their traditions and traditional clothes. they have not been touched by capitalism yet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what if, it's all these students are like,
Mm-hmm.
what if we go to the people? And they're like, we're going to quit school. Some of them symbolically like ripped up their diplomas and they dressed up as peasants.
Sorry, these are rich kids essentially at this point.
These
These are
are
rich Russian
noble
kids.
kids.
Noble kids, right.
These are people who had serfs. A lot of them
Yeah.
actually just went to their homes that had
This
serfs.
is the equivalent of like, trust fund kids doing Burning Man. Like they're all just like, we're gonna pretend to be poor so that we can hang with the people, quote unquote, and like all these hippies.
It's a little bit worse. It would be like if they just showed
Worse
up.
than Burning Man?
Worse than Burning Man. Not much is. No, it would be like if they went to a poor neighborhood in Detroit.
Yeah.
But it's actually so much worse. Let me get into it. So
Okay.
they are so excited to go and speak to these peasants. They think of them as like they're revolutionaries just waiting to be hatched. If we just talk to them, and they had been doing so much in their intellectual circles, and now they're prone to action. They're like, what can we do to actually make this move forward?
This is just the modern Democratic Party.
Oh, that's a harsh but fair criticism. Hello, fellow socialists. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's so funny, though. It's like, we hear you.
Painful. Yeah.
We hear you. And what we're going to do
dumb,
is
dumb idiots can just get on board with what we're selling.
Well, so there's about 2,000 to 4,000 students took part in this.
Wow,
so
it's a big
sizable.
chunk.
Yeah. This wasn't like a couple of roving bands of kids. This was like quite formal. A lot of people had their own adventures. There were some people who were, they called them like flying revolutionaries, where basically they would just go into a town and they'd spread all this literature and all their pamphlets, and then they'd leave. Because there was still like the police don't like revolutionaries historically, causing trouble and telling people to revolt and overthrow their landowners and stuff. And the funny thing, though, is that most Russian peasants are illiterate.
Oh, should have at least included the version with pictures in it. Shit.
That's the part that reminds me of the Coen brothers, like part of it, where it's like these guys coming into town and they're spreading out all these pamphlets. They feel so good about themselves, and then they leave in the night and they're like, we fucking did it.
I can totally see the Russian serfs or the peasants just looking at it being like,
feeding it to pigs. So like,
yeah.
And this is like, you didn't have a Xerox back then, man. They're like, yeah, we're gonna get it to the people. Oh, God. And then there's definitely more comedies of errors. So, for example, they were like, we have to be inconspicuous. So a lot of them forged passports because they didn't want to be known as their like noblesse name, or they didn't want to get arrested or all of these other things. And people were like, well, you have to put a trade on there. What's your trade? And one person's like, well, you could be a blacksmith. And he's like, I don't know.
Blacksmith.
No such nobility. No. He was like, they were like, well, that's really bad for your health. They're like, you could be a cobbler. And he's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's really hard. Like, they really just wanted to dress up.
Yeah, it's cosplay.
And go have tea brought to them and go and hang out. And so they were trying to explain the goals of agrarian egalitarianism to these people. But the problem is that all these people have ever known was these people have land and we don't.
Yeah.
And then now, within like the past 10 years, so this is 1874 to be specific. So it's like been the past 10 years, and they're like, no, the only thing that matters is buying this land. We've been told that that's the only thing that we're going to be able to do. They're like, we fully buy into capitalism.
Have they had a famine yet at this point? I think there's a famine.
They have had a famine at this point. Look at you.
I remember because I did the Vavlov versus, I forgot the other guy's name. The one about the two Russian scientists. Do you remember? Did you listen to those ones? I did those like 2 years ago. But I remember he was born in the 1870s and he had experienced famine when he was very young. Is where he became obsessed with Lysenko and Vavlov. Vavlov was the guy who started the seed vault, essentially. And he was because he grew up in famine in the late 1800s.
Yes, I did listen to that one. It was a long time ago. It
was a long time ago. But I remember it was like his experience with the famine as a child around this era was what it made him be like, we have to store seeds. Like, we have to make sure that there's enough plants in the future so that people don't starve to death. Anyway, so that's why I was
no, he's better than these serfs at like at least like having something productive to do with this trauma. Because like, for example, one of the revolutionaries has a quote where he was there and he was trying to convince them that they were part of systemic oppression. And and their quote back was, no, we're sinful drunkards who have forgotten God.
I mean, accurate.
Two things can be true.
I was like, I don't know. That sounds right to me.
And then there was another guy who the They wrote, "The people despised him amiably but completely, for he could not sow or reap and had to be shown how to handle a scythe. They treated his socialism as another instance of his imbecility."
Another instance of his imbecility. I want that on my gravestone.
Depends what you die of.
Whatever it is, it's going to be an instance of my imbecility no matter
Oh, that is
what.
fair. That's fair. Another instance of his imbecility. It's like, this one, he died by the sword. You lived by the
He died by the
imbecility.
scythe by accident.
Yeah, for real though. And then another funny thing is that because the students were very egalitarian, they
Mhm.
had a lot of women with them. They were like, women are our comrades. Like they are in the fight with us, and they are also
Yeah.
systemically, oppressed. Russian serfs are like incredibly sexist. They're like, what the fuck is this lady doing talking
Yeah.
to me? Like she should be working, like in the kitchen, kind of
A
thing.
broad with a degree? What's next? She could be driving
Definitely.
cars? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Actually, there's a really funny story coming up later about a broad who had a degree. Who's in this story. That, like, I think she was driven mad because enough people said, "Abroad with a degree?"
With a degree? Serfs didn't like that.
Well, so basically, a lot of the peasants just started reporting them to the authorities.
Oh no, they're
They
just
were
selling
just
him out.
they're just selling them out. Apparently, that wasn't as widespread as they thought at the time. I think at the time they were just so imbecilic. They were such imbeciles that they just got caught a lot by being dumb. They're like walking down the street and they get caught and they're like, "I've been sold out." And it's like, actually, no, like you just stick
You
out like
brought
a
this
sore
on
thumb.
yourself. Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
yeah. So they thought at the time they were being reported, but then later they realized that, like, no, you reported yourself.
Yeah, they essentially have flashing lights over their heads.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then they had bad made up passports. They had bad stories about their made up towns on their passports. That was another story I read where they were like, by the way, my favorite thing about coming on 500 Taps, my favorite thing is just like primary sources. That is like, I haven't, like, you don't get to do primary sources in your life regularly, you know? The Wikipedia article will do. You're
Yeah.
just like, for whatever thing you're trying to figure out or learn, you're like, all right, cool. But
Yeah.
for
It's
this, I'm like,
interpretive a little bit as much as it is like something else,
oh
We're
yeah,
not
now
we're
I'm
not
like getting into
journalists.
JSTOR, like, oh,
Yeah.
so fun. But
I don't have
yeah.
my USC degree, my USC login anymore, unfortunately. I was able to use that for quite a lot of years, but now I can't get into the JSTOR stuff for free.
No, the couple JSTOR things I found were just weirdly available.
Really?
Yeah, but they're very old. I think
Yeah.
it's just because they're from the early 1900s.
I think the amount of money that we paid to USC, we should be able to have access to that email address for the rest of our lives. And at the very least, they should give us access to JSTOR articles forever.
It all went to that Lululemon across the street. It's all R.I.P. the weird ethnic food mall that used to be.
Oh my God, that was the best.
The last thing I'll say about the peasants too, which is
Yes.
important for this next section,
Mhm.
is that they're incredibly devoted to the Tsar. The Tsar's I don't think he's necessarily the head of the Russian Orthodox Church. Christianity in all its forms is very confusing to me when it comes to like hierarchy.
Yeah.
But like, for example, if you think about like the French Revolution,
Mhm.
they had like the Pope. Like to them, like the Pope is the head of the Catholic Church. Like Louis
Yeah.
XIV is not the head of my church.
Right.
So it's like I'm very willing to take these grievances against these like local landowners and extrapolate that towards the government.
Yeah.
And even like I was thinking too, this is what made me think of it when you're talking about like if the Indians and the Egyptians and the
Yeah,
Irish all band
Irish.
together. Because it's like the American Revolution too. It's like all of the landowners and land workers in the United States
Mhm.
had a completely different attitude towards government because it was imperialism. Like to them,
Yeah.
it was like, this is a foreign government that has nothing to do with me in my life. So it's just taking money away from
Yeah.
me. And there's not that sense of systemic racism, and otherness that happened like in India. And also India was colonized so much earlier by different people in the East India Company and all these other things. So what I think is really interesting about Russia as a revolution is like this devotion to the Tsar. It's like, no, we're not going to overthrow the government. It's like overthrowing our religion,
Yeah.
as opposed to some of these other revolutions that have happened. And they were like, well, the Tsar fucked you over with are we allowed to curse on here? I don't remember.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, good.
We don't generally do it, but you're allowed to. We don't have a rule
Okay.
against it.
Apologies if that offends your sensibilities.
All of the young children that listen to this podcast might have to go talk to their parents and be like, I heard the word fuck today. What does that mean?
But I learned so much about serfdom.
Yeah. A good parent will be like, you know what? Just keep going. I'm just glad that you're learning about history. That's the important thing.
So the serfs, loyal to the Tsar, hate all of these beatniks who showed up thinking that they were cool and that they could hang out and pretend to know how to scythe. And yeah, just imbeciles top to bottom. So then
Pretend scything in their bedrooms.
the next year, they're like, we're going to do it again. They're like, the reason we failed was because we got reported. And if we hadn't
Yeah.
been reported, it would have been fine. And they're like, and the only way to not be reported is we can't really go to the serfs. They're like kind of annoying and they're
Yeah.
not going to help us. We're going to go to the factories. Because what was happening at this time is that there's so many serfs who were emancipated who are like, I don't have any land, I can't work. So they were moving into cities by
Yeah,
droves.
okay.
And
Yeah.
they were starting to work in these factories. This is early industrial revolution. So there is work. Also, this work is done equally by men and women, this factory work. So they're like, women can go into these,
It's so
women.
interesting to think about like industrialization in that same way compared to what it was in the States. It's like the first thing I think of is the blues, right? Is like everyone going up to Chicago and then bringing Delta blues up into Chicago, and then Chicago goes electric, and then becomes like a whole thing. I'm just curious, like if this occurred to me, and I'm like, I wonder if music gets crazy when people start moving from serfs from the country into the cities.
That's my footnote for the whole episode.
Seriously?
Is this a little influence on music? I can't wait to get there. Kaveh, you just know too much about the world. You just know too much.
No, you and I have just spent so much time together crying in editing rooms that you pretty much know where my brain's going to go
I do.
beforehand.
It's always going to go to guitars. Pizza, guitars.
Pizza guitar. I am just a
Crying.
Ninja Turtle. Tarot, all of it.
But you know what, though? It's funny because it's like every time I tell you a story about my husband, Evan, you'll be
Yeah.
like, get your own personality, Evan. Those
Yeah.
are things that I like. And I was like, I think you're all just a bunch of zennials just out here doing your best.
True.
Trying
With our
to,
Timbuktu bags walking around.
yeah. What was he saying he was listening to yesterday? And he was like, oh, he's like, you know what? I was really getting into the Misfits again.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, zennial. What's next? Pearl Jam. Anyway. They're going to try again. These beatniks are going to try again. They're going to go into the factories this time. They didn't call it going to the people. This time they called it close to the people.
In the vicinity of the people.
Yeah, they were like
people adjacent.
They were going to work harder this time. They were actually going to work in the factories, and they were going to start handing out literature, start getting some strikes going.
Okay.
Some real actual, socialism kind of things. So yeah, women working in the factories. One woman in this group is called Vera Figner.
Okay.
So she was a part of the original group who went out into the countryside, but then she's coming back in here and doing the factory work. So like just like this is a good example of one of these people, and I think it's a woman, so it's more interesting to give her a name. So her maternal grandfather owned more than 17,000 acres of land.
Whoa.
and had thousands of serfs or hundreds of serfs, and had like 2 house serfs, which were a different kind of serfs. But so like this is someone who had grown up, fabulously wealthy, fabulously well taken care of, and now is working like in a factory and handing out these political pamphlets, which is like is hardcore.
Yeah.
And where she was before this is that she wanted to become a doctor, and she tried to go to school and get a medical degree. And there was a couple of schools that were still allowing it in different places in Moscow. And by the time she had actually, I think, either earned her degree or almost earned her degree, they had outlawed women having medical degrees because there was a rumor spread that women were performing abortions on themselves.
Whoa.
Which is like, can't have that.
Yeah.
They can't have any sort of bodily autonomy. That's the worst. Only educated women would do that.
What is this, contemporary America?
Did you see that movie 4 weeks, 3 days, 2 hours?
No, I remember it though. I never saw it.
I think it's Ukrainian. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, is that what it's about? Is that what I didn't realize that's what
they don't perform an abortion on themselves. It's like about.
No, but I'm saying I didn't realize that's what I remember that title. I didn't realize that's what it was a reference to specifically.
Yeah, it's
it was
heavy. It's heavy.
Ooh.
If you're like, I'm on the cusp of pro-life or pro-choice, it's like just watch that movie and it'll solve a lot of questions for you. Wow. Socialism, abortion. Where else can I go with this? So anyway, Vera's like working in these factories, and they're getting raided. They're getting arrested.
She's a doctor working in the factories, basically.
Doctor raised by nobles, working in a factory, and they're all getting arrested still. Like, they're getting reported, there are all these crackdowns, they're getting sent to Siberia for, like, 20 years, like, it's just not kinda worth it, and everyone they're talking to is still like, "We love the Tsar, we love the Tsar, like, he's our
Mm,
father, we
yeah.
would never want anything bad to happen to him, he'll solve this. We believe in him to solve this." So, they decided that it had to be shown that the Tsar was not supernatural.
Oh, like he's a mere man, a mere mortal.
And what's the best way to prove someone's mortality?
By staging an assassination attempt 3 times.
How'd you know about that there was 3 of them?
Seriously?
How did you know that? I was like, "Wait, you can't see my notes? You can't see my notes?
You're shitting me.
What are you doing here? You're fucking
That was just a
my
guess.
my whole
All I'm
rhythm."
doing is like guessing based on what's happening in the past couple of years here. Oh my God. Is he a Russian czar this whole time?
Kaveh, I'm not
Listen.
saying I pulled this topic out of a hat. But I did pull it out of, like, a few things, and, actually, it's funny, there was another topic I was, like, really hemming and hawing on, and I was like, "This one's a little bit more topical, but we'll see what happens next year, and if you need me to come back on and talk about the other one."
We were just talking about the triple fake assassination attempt to prove that the czar is not real, I believe.
He's real, I mean,
Yeah.
they
He's not like, he's not
he's not chosen by
he's
God.
not a God figure. Yes.
He won't be saved, like, if he's assassinated. So, there was a critic at the time of going to the people and then getting near to the people and then getting really within sniffing distance of the people.
Adjacent to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy, he had a critique, and I just like original quotes. But basically, he formulated his belief that propaganda could not initiate a revolution because the laws of social progress made it so that the regime would always have the support of wealthier peasants. That for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because he viewed the regime as, quote, absolutely absurd and absurdly absolute.
Okay.
And that's what totalitarian, illogical, and oppressive. And he argued because of those things, it was weak and vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
But only an assassination was going to prove that.
Okay.
So there was a couple of attempts, 3 to be exact. One of them was in 1879. So this is a couple years after going to the people, and they've been trying, and they keep getting arrested. I honestly think they were probably just like, "Hey, we got to do something drastic because like half of our crew is in Siberia." So they tried to blow up the emperor's train. And then they totally missed. It was one of those, like, they blew up the wrong car and they missed his train. And then another one, they set up a time charge under a ballroom that he was supposed to go into. And then he was not at the dining room at the time because his nephew was late. And so they blew it up at the wrong time and they killed 11 people.
Who did they kill?
Guards who were just like in the
they're
room.
just randos, nothing like nobody else in their family.
Yeah, but it's just like one of those things where you're just
Sad.
like, man,
The nephew was late? What was the nephew doing?
Dinner had been delayed by the late arrival of the Tsar's nephew, the Prince of Bulgaria. So the Tsar and his family were not in the dining room at the time of the explosion and were unharmed.
What
So that was in
dickhead.
1880. But now we come to March 1st, 1881. So the Tsar always went to this like military parade that was like a well-known thing that he was always going to go to it. So like perfect for assassinations.
Yeah.
And they had 3 men in the crowd who all had grenades. And they were basically like, whoever gets a good shot at him, like whoever can get close, because the
Take it.
sidewalks, just take it. So one of the guys got pretty close and threw the bomb under the carriage and it exploded. But this was a bulletproof carriage. And they didn't
This is
know
like
that.
the beginning of Casino, where like they put off the bomb at the bottom of his car, but like that specific version of the Cadillac had something like that was underneath the driver's seat. Do you remember this?
I have not seen Casino. I feel
You've
bad
not
now.
seen Casino?
I know.
Josie, come on.
I know.
Anyway, so the grenade goes.
The grenade
It goes
goes.
under the carriage. The carriage does not kill him,
Alexander
it sounds like.
Alexander II comes out and he goes, "I am unharmed by the grace of God." And now
Fist up in the air while a
this
flag waves behind him.
this shit's starting to backfire if you think about it.
Yeah.
If you've got 3 assassination attempts and they're all not going,
Mm-hmm.
that means this man's immortal, right? Now,
Yeah.
it's like the second guy comes out of the crowd
Oh,
while he's
nice.
out of the carriage, lobs the grenade right at his face, basically.
Yes.
He's blown to smithereens.
Hell yeah.
He is killed, not on the spot, but all his guts are out. Both of his legs have been blown off. And they put him on like a police sleigh. I think it's March, so it's like cold.
You're like, Rudolph, guide our way through the.
And they take him to a winter palace, and he's all messed up. He was carried by sleigh to the winter palace, to his study, or where almost the same day, 20 years earlier, he had signed the Emancipation Edict, freeing the serfs.
Oh, man.
All comes back. He was bleeding to death with broken legs, bleeding knees, his stomach ripped open, his face mutilated. And I guess he was one of the lead orchestrators of this assassination attempt. She wasn't at the square at the time, but she was
That
one of the
lady.
masterminds.
The doctor lady?
The doctor lady.
The doctor.
Yep. So
Meredith Grey herself.
yeah, totally. So unfortunately, this backfired so bad. They thought like this will be it. We've killed the Tsar. Like this is when revolutions happen. Power vacuums like this. It's like no. He's
Never does.
immediately replaced.
Yeah.
And this is Nicholas III. And basically he's like, all government money is now going to police.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's always what happens.
He's like, guess what? You can't print things anymore. No, we're going to smash all your printing presses. We're going to break up all your stupid meetings and cafes.
Yeah.
You all, straight to jail, straight to jail.
Yeah.
It's-
Defund the police. Guess what? Now we're all going to basically like triple fund the police departments in all these places,
It
unfortunately.
was a hundo backfire.
Yeah.
And also the peasantry horrified by the murder.
Yeah. I
They're
was
like,
gonna say.
whoever would do this is a terrible, terrible person.
Antifa everywhere.
Well, and so, yeah, they had a lot of the leaders of this group hanged in public as a message to other people. And they were cracked down. So, yeah, so it would then now take, another 40 years.
Damn.
But what's cool about I really encourage anybody who's even remotely interested in this to listen to all of Mike Duncan's revolutions, because what I love about it so much is that a revolution is not ever made in a single event. And it feels like it. You're like, oh, it's like this guy was killed, or like, oh, like these people rose up. It's like, no, like there were so many like times that the Tsar would create, they were called Dumas, which is like parliaments. And then he would disband them. And then there would be a new one. And then he'd disband them. And this one, then there was a boycott against this one. And like all these steady progressions towards, I mean, at the time, just democracy under a theocracy. I mean, it took
Iran had something similar
years.
too, like in the middle of the century too. It's like Majlis. It's like back and forth. It's gone. It's there. There's a king. The king's overthrown. This guy's. It's like it takes forever. You're right.
It takes forever. And do you know what really? But he says it in his podcast. Every time he gets to the point of the revolution, like we finally get there, he goes, "Nothing starts a revolution like women waiting in line for food."
Interesting.
He's like, women start revolutions because women historically are the ones who provide the cooking and the food and put shit together. And as soon as they can't work, can't get food, can't take care of their kids, it's like they break. And they basically, so the Russian Revolution happened on International Women's Day. Or no, I'm sorry, International Women's Day. I don't remember. I'm going to get it wrong. But women basically were like, I'm so sick of standing in these bread lines because of World War I. That they just started going to all the factories and saying, men, get out of your factories. If you support us and are trying to feed your goddamn children, come and march in the streets with us.
Yeah.
And they did. That's what started the actual Russian Revolution.
No shit.
So
amazing.
Bread lines. Once you start seeing bread lines, I mean, right now I know gas has doubled, but we're not at bread lines yet. I mean, actually, at one point when they were like, we're no longer doing SNAP benefits, I was like, is this the bread lines? Is this the bread lines moment? Because it feels like it. Once you start getting at women who are just trying to feed their children, they're going to snap. It's like, when you see ISIS members who are women and you're like, oh, what happened?
Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
You see them in their hijabs and they're just like firing machine guns. And you're like, wow, their whole family must have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So now I can get to the fun pop culture parts of this entire story. If you're ready. Okay.
Yeah.
So Oscar Wilde's first play ever that he wrote was called Vera, but not about our Vera, the doctor, about a different Vera, unfortunately, or The Nihilists, which features Russian revolutionaries who seek to assassinate a fictional czar. So it's about this group that was like trying to do this, and it talked a lot about the going to the people and the Russian peasants and the things that they had tried. And it was staged in 1881 in London, but then the czar was actually assassinated the same year. He wrote it before the assassination.
Before it happened. Yeah. It's like a Simpsons episode. The Simpsons predicted this.
Yeah, definitely.
Oscar Wilde predicted this.
Yeah, totally. And so the play was canceled. Like, he basically couldn't
Oh my
run his
God.
first play because it was about the assassination of the Tsar, and then it actually happened. And then because there were all those previous attempts, so it's like
Sure.
he's not, he's not Conan O'Brien out here being like,
He's not predicting the future. He's just
no,
going based off a pattern that kept happening.
no. And then they opened it up again in 1883, but then it closed immediately due to poor reviews. So. And then here's the music thing finally. So not only revolutionaries went with them out into the countryside to talk to people, but then there were two Russian ethnographers who were so excited to like record peasant music. They're like, they haven't been touched yet. They're so like innocent and pure. So they were like, we're also going to collect some of their music.
Mhm.
And they transcribed the polyphonic harmonies displayed by like Russians. It's kind of like in the balalaika, like there's some very specific Russian peasant melodies. I don't know if
Mm.
enough about music nowadays, but apparently their work directly influenced Igor Stravinsky. So
No
the
shit.
Firebird, the Rite of Spring are all based on these kiddos going out into the country and like
Whoa.
infiltrating these groups and then like bringing this information back.
So they did something that was worthwhile with all this, it
They
sounds
could
like.
never have predicted it.
Yeah.
And I can't say they could take any ownership of it. Maybe if they'd just been a little bit more curious and a little less didactic,
Mhm.
maybe things would have gone better.
What do you guys want?
So it just
What
started
what
with
are
a
you
bunch
guys
of
into?
it just started with a bunch of kids holding Starbucks, walking into your, you know, poor Alabama neighborhood and being like, "Guys, have you ever thought about voting? Have you thought about it, getting the vote out?" And it ended with murder.
It ended with Stravinsky.
It ended with Stravinsky. Amen to that. That's lovely.
Yeah, I like that as an ending. That's wonderful. I
Mm.
like that. There was a happy ending.
There's a little happy ending, yes. So
Yeah.
that is my tab friend.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. I was riveted all the way through. I barely made fun of you or interrupted.
I know. It's because it
I'm
was
not
novel.
surprised. Also, because I'm not surprised that you come highly prepared and organized, where you basically prepared a script all the way through at the beginning.
You know
and
what? I
middle.
will tell you what the other tab was going to be because it might send you on a really fervent rabbit hole, and it's a lot of
Oh,
fun.
okay.
So the other episode of this Revolutions podcast that is like I said, I listen to it to fall asleep. And
Mhm.
what I do is I'll listen to about 15 minutes. And I think the big reason I listen to it is like any problems I have in my own life feel super stupid.
Not that bad.
Not that bad. It's a real reset for me where I'll be like, "Oh, there's a famine." And like,
Bread
"Oh, and
lines.
the Tsar was like assassinated, and then Vera was sent to Siberia for 25 years,"
Jesus.
which is what happened. And then I think she made it to Switzerland, and then she wrote some books later if you're curious. But anyway, and then I fell asleep and I'm like, "I'm fine." This one, I stayed up the whole time. I was like, "What?" I'm like in my bed. I'm like, "What is happening? These children, what are they doing?" And then the second episode was like that, where I was like, I almost had to get out of bed and make a cup of coffee because I was like, "Wow, I got to listen to this whole episode."
I'm reticent to have you tell me. I feel like now we just got to save it for the next time that you're
All right,
on.
we'll save it. We'll save it. How
Yeah,
about I'll tell it to you
a
off
secret
air.
preview. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
secret preview when Josie comes back on.
That was such a hype up. Sorry to blue balls everybody, but
No. I love it. Wonderful job. And what are we thinking? How would you like to close your tabs?
it's got to be a grenade
A grenade. Yeah,
under a
I
carriage, a
agree. Yeah, and
bulletproof carriage.
a
That's
bulletproof
easy.
carriage exploding with the guts going everywhere and the Tsar collapsing.
I'm all right.
Are you ready? I'm going to count you down.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Okay, moving on to listener emails. It is Scott from Kansas City, Hannah, Kaveh, and the 500 Open Tabs gang, and also Josie. I'm just going to add that in there, even though Scott technically didn't write, but because you're on
It's
it.
okay. I'm really close
As
by
you-
to Scott, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
that's right. Over by Casey. As you know, I have a weird job. All day, I scan photos and documents for university special collections. And in my years there, I have come across some interesting stuff that led to further research. This one was a piece of sheet music I scanned back in 2008. I'm going to send you the image so you can see it.
By the way, this is how you're going to get your JSTOR connection, is this listener.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Scott, hook it up.
Oh, Sweden.
That's why I chose this email. I thought you'd like it.
Oh, thanks. My mom's Swedish. That's why I'm
yes.
excited. I'm not just a bandwagon Swede.
Swedophile. No, you're actually Swedish. When I pulled this from the box of sheet music, I initially didn't know what to think. First, I thought wait, I know this song. Then did a movie steal a song from the Muppets? And that's what Sweden, Heaven, and Hell anyway. And what's Sweden, Heaven, and Hell anyway? Sorry, I'm bad at reading. So I looked up the movie on IMDb. It's a 1968 pseudo-documentary about The Sex Lives of Swedes, made by an Italian director.
Heck
The
yeah.
song was background music to a sauna scene, which must have caught the attention of someone on the Muppets crew because they used it in the debut episode in 1978. By the way, for those of you guys who don't know, that's Mana Mana. Dun, 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 Mana Mana. Dun, 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 dun. I'm assuming that's what it is, right?
Every time someone
Mana
says the word
Mana.
phenomena, I have to do
Yeah.
that. I'm that person. I hate it. I hate it. It just comes out.
Phenomena. Do, 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 do. I never know how to end these things, but I hope you found this fact just as weird as I did. As always, keep it Josie, Scott G from KC. Thank you, Scott.
You know that these are very young people in this sex scene movie because those white hats they're wearing in the lower left.
Yeah, the
box,
sailor-looking hats.
That's the ones you get on your high school graduation day. Those are high school
Really?
graduation hats. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. A little bit of
Did you
insider
see the movie
knowledge.
Another Round?
No, isn't it with what's his name? Mads Mikkelsen's in
Mads
it?
Mikkelsen. He's like my actual like celebrity crush. I love Mads Mikkelsen. But yeah, Another Round. It ends with a high school
I
graduation.
can see the poster very clearly in my mind for some strange reason. I don't know
It's
why
a good
I know
movie.
it, but I
It's
do.
really
Yeah?
good. Yeah, the premise is what if being an alcoholic made you a lot happier?
He's Danish, right?
It's super Danish.
He's from Denmark, yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Which
remember from the
my husband is
Nicholas
not
Winding
offended
Refn
that I
movie.
like really love Mads Mikkelsen because my husband looks. This is how Danish my husband looks. He's not Danish. He's Polish, but it's like this is how Danish he looks. We flew to Denmark 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
On the flight, all the stewardesses talked to him in Danish.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And he would be like, oh. But they're like, that's a Danish man.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That's fun.
Yeah.
Actually, this would make a sick like iPhone wallpaper. Just like anytime you open up your phone, you're just like, mena, mena.
Mena Mena
Sex
is actually from
lives of
this.
Swedes.
I just assume that that's what the Swedish say when they climax. Mena Mena. Mena 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 Mena.
I'm surprised it wasn't like a Eurovision song.
It's not too late. Dude, you know the people who listen to this podcast are obsessed with Eurovision. We had to start a whole other channel on the Discord that was just Eurovision because people kept talking about it in like the main thread. And we were like, we're going to put this off into a separate thing because a bunch of us have no idea what any of this is.
No,
it's
my
not
family
happening
watches
now,
it.
is it?
It is happening right now.
It is happening. I think I muted that channel because I was like, I have no point of reference for any of this. So I got to go check and see if there's a lot.
I'm like American Idol with it, where I come in at the
Coming
finals.
at the end.
Yeah. I don't
Like
have the
me with the
patience for
playoffs
whole
in
thing.
basketball. I understand.
Yeah, I'm a bandwagon Eurovision fan. And it's always like the worst song you've ever heard. And people are weeping. Actually, there is one that was a Finnish group singing in Swedish about saunas, how much they love saunas. It won like last year or 2 years ago.
I'm kind of into that.
Oh, it's hysterical. It's really good. And it's my 6-year-old's favorite song.
Really? More than the Pizza Hut song?
Well, I don't know. We got some stiff competition now. But yeah, it goes like, bado bado bastu. You have to see it. It's ridiculous. It's about saunas.
Who's your favorite competitor on Eurovision? Let us know in the comments. But I was going to say, Josie, thank you so much for taking the time and coming on to our show and preparing a lovely, lovely tab. You're not one for social media necessarily as much. Is there anything that people should know that they should follow you or any of that? Or we're just going to say, you're just going to keep it Josie in the meantime?
Keep it Josie. You can rent You're Dating a Narcissist on
That's right,
VOD,
yes.
wherever you can find it. It is
with Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei is a psychologist, like a professor psychologist at NYU, and her daughter, who specializes in narcissists.
Mm-hmm.
And her daughter has met a guy and fallen in love with him and has become engaged to him within about 2 weeks. And she's like, that's classic narcissist behavior. He's a narcissist. And her daughter's like, not everyone's a narcissist. And it just becomes this kind of like, it's a kind of like more of a mom-com, but it's her trying to
Definitely a mom-com, yeah.
It's like, it's a lot of sneaking in bushes to see what he's doing, to see
with her friend. Her friend shows up and I got to see an early cut of it as you have. I dutifully come to all of Josie's cuts every time she's cutting a movie. She's like, here, we need an audience member to come give us feedback.
And Kaveh's always the last person writing notes at the end. Everyone else is left. And Kaveh's like, no.
Listen, I'm gonna give you everything I got. Yeah,
it's always good. No, I'm saying you keep
I take
being
it seriously.
invited because you take it seriously. You're not gonna bullshit me.
I'm just like, okay, this needs to go. Meanwhile, when you watch movies that I've asked for feedback on you, it's terrifying because you watch the entire thing and then you like blink like an android 3 times, and you're like, I have memorized every single cut that needs to happen across this film. At minute 62.477.66 seconds, there's 2 frames that are too long, and that needs to move around this, and then you need to, and I'm like, okay, Rain Man, I got it. You know exactly how to cut these things out. It's terrifying. It's so impressive.
People always like, do you want a notebook? And I'm like,
you're like, nope. It's all
I'm gonna
up
watch
here.
it.
Yeah.
So I can see what's happening.
Anyway, thank you again, Josie, for filling in and for bringing another lovely tab. If you guys enjoyed this show, please like and subscribe and rate us and share it with your friends. If you have a friend who loves Russian history or overthrowing governments, or you have a friend that's kind of a dumb beatnik who likes to slum it and pretend like they're part of, Burning Man, like, oh, look at us, we're working class, send this episode to them and have them watch it and share it with others. In the meantime, you can follow us on 500 Open Tabs on Instagram, and we're on Blue Sky. We never post. I'm Perma Friends on Instagram, and I'm Taherian on Blue Sky. In the meantime, until next episode, thank you again, Josie. Keep the people of Iran in your hearts. And also, hey, Josie, I don't gotta tell you, keep it Josie.
I got no choice. Sometimes I run away from the responsibility. It's a little like Christ, my parents chose this for me, and I keep it Josie. I keep it Josie.
Yeah. Keeping it Josie with the real one. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.